Okay, Brambro back with some aircraft carrier survival. So in the last episode, we got a few upgrade points and got some Fletcher class destroyers, and then I've come back out on another mission, looked for something with 4 upgrade points, which this is going to give us, and that will enable us to procure the Atlanta class cruisers, which look pretty awesome to me. So we're going to hop in, do this mission, and then head back to Pearl and buy us an Atlanta, which I'm pretty excited about, I gotta tell you. This is our mission. It's an easy, which kind of surprised me for 4 upgrade points. Didn't see that till we got out here. And it's a destroy enemy fleet before it reaches that edge of map. I think we'll be able to take care of that.
A new objective is awaiting.
Okay, first things first, map. And it tells us where it is. That takes out the recon part. We do need to identify it first. Oh, we are currently undetected. Let's keep it that way. Which means... Here. No, not that way. This way. Why am I not moving? Here we go. Try to edge it down that way. And let's go full. Don't want to get detected, before we launch our first strike. Of course, once that happens, it's kind of a done deal. All right. So we're going to want to launch an identify mission first, which means those are the last planes we want to bring up to the deck. And we don't know exactly what our strike package is going to need to look like, but we do know that we're going to need at least a minimum of 2 torpedo bombers because of the anvil card that I always use. And I really, really like jinking, so we're going to need at least 1 fighter. And obviously we're going to use more planes than this, but those are just the cards I know I'm going to use. The other ones might flex a little bit, but those 2 are always in there. And then we'll bring up some, and that's just we got to bring the planes up for the strike, but that's just a couple of squadrons we can spot now. And we'll just bring up some torpedo bombers. There we go. Okay, what do we want for... I always just like to have DC team. So what I don't know is, do I need this? I have not I've unlocked it. I haven't actually used surprise attack before. Do I need this active when I plan the strike, or does it just need to be active when the strike launches, or just by the time the strike actually hits? I'm going to play it safe and assume that I need this active from at the time that I actually plan and confirm the strike. Given that, I am going to wait a little bit. For right now, I'm just going to do DC. It's this guy. That's a 4-hour. Okay. I'm going to leave this slot full. Or empty, rather. Save it. Well, I don't need to... Well, I do. I was thinking I could plan the strike and get a card combo now and then just simply not confirm it, but I know what cards I need. But no, I can't do that yet. I have to wait for Dawn to launch the ID. So this is going to take a little while. All right, well, we'll just go to Dawn, launch our ID, and go from there. Just want to make sure that I am remaining undetected. Which, if he turns south toward me, it's just game up. We're right on the edge, I'm sure. Well, we got a little bit of wiggle room. Let's go that way. Okay, these guys. Let's get you on malfunction and medical. Those kind of crop up more than floodings and fires during non-combat casualties. Yeah. I'm not trying to run away from them. I'm just trying to make it less likely that I blunder into getting detected. That's all. We're not going to get too far away from them. We'll have plenty of time to kill them. Look at that. The bad part is when there's two fleets and one's going this way and one's going that way. we had one like that a couple episodes ago. That was like, it just turns into this big time distance problem. What is that about? Oh, yeah, somebody's coming. I guess I should make sure I haven't identified targets. I do. Mission available. Okay.
Start engines.
Here we go, Dawn launch. That kind of looks like I need to go look at the island. Yeah, we're going to switch that to airstrikes.
On the double.
Ugh. All right.
Better get to it.
Well, and now he's on cooldown. Great.
Sir, on my way.
Heavy cruiser destroyer, light carrier destroyer. Okay, now. Okay, let's activate this Surprise attack.
Ready, sir.
Ready, sir.
And I gotta wait till that guy's off cooldown. I have messed up my officers for this one. It's alright. We'll just kind of shadow this guy. Not being very efficient, but we'll be fine. In the meantime, anvil attack, jinking. Disables attack maneuvers 3 and 5. Defense of all offensive maneuvers. Attack and defense of all maneuvers. Yeah. Well, okay. I said I always use anvil attack, which I am, but I got to put it somewhere else. And then defense of all offense. I need to find some more. Well, I'm not thrilled with this attack, but 51 defense, 2 to 3 of dispatched squadrons return heavily damaged. 2 to 3 is not terrible for a first strike, and it is going to kill 1 to 2 enemy targets. And when we actually launch this, there's going to be the surprise attack modifier. Why is this attack 0? Attack of this maneuver plus 10 if placed between defensive maneuvers. Which it is. These are both defensive maneuvers. Oh. This is why. Disables attack of maneuvers 3 and 5. Okay, what if I just swap these two then? Yeah, okay. It doesn't really change this. But it is 5 more attack than we had before. And we didn't lose any. Okay. I'm going to go with this. Which is, make sure I get the sequence right. And I think in order to actually save the cards, I do confirm here, but cancel here. I think is how that's done. We'll see. Okay, so now we're just waiting for this guy's cooldown here. And meanwhile, we can bring the rest of our planes up, which is one more torpedo bomber. One dive, which, yeah, I'm not going to wait to recover that ID. And
Issue a dive bomber squadron on the deck.
2 more fighters. Y'all can see I'm not clicking the little squadron spots in the deck view, and that's because they're not default mapped, but there are key binding slots in the controls here to bring up the 3 types on deck, and I've just mapped them to the JKL keys.
Squadron on the deck.
So what exactly does that thing do? Yeah, it applies a flat 3 attack to all the cards. So basically it adds 15 attack. If this modifier bypasses the modifiers in the strike, like the ones, like the ones where it said attack minus 10% and attack disabled on this slot and that sort of thing. If the surprise attack order bypasses that, it'll be a plus 15 in total. So up to plus 15, I guess. That might be enough to bag another ship beyond what was predicted. Okay, now, surprise attack.
Sir,
Awaiting orders.
on
Roger
my
that.
way.
There we go. Prepare. Now let's see if it saved that cart. Well, we need to actually kind of go like this. No, it didn't. Okay, so it was anvil, bulwark here, jinking. We decided went there, and defensive bombing here, and Luftberry. So how does that add up? 34, 8. It is a lot more attack. It looks like the surprise. It looks like the surprise attack is factored in here because that we were at 40. It's 54 now. Okay. We'll put our point option about here. That should be fine. Go. Go.
Stand by to start engine.
There was a hotfix 5 that dropped today or maybe yesterday. I don't really. It's various bug fixes. I didn't really read it that close. Okay, and while you guys are flying, we can do a quick recovery of our ID mission, and I'm just gonna some of those planes are gonna get damaged and have to go down in the hangar bay. Let's leave these dive bombers on deck.
Stand by to recover aircraft.
Look at all those Fletchers back there. That's pretty awesome. It looks better than a bunch of chickapeas. Okay, well we lost a couple squadrons, but we took out the heavy cruiser. That's good because that was the most problematic modifier. Oh, I do remember one of the things they said we fixed all the wrong ships in the replay videos. So let's see if they get it right. No. That didn't look like a heavy cruiser to me. That doesn't look like one either. Okay. Well, maybe they got a little bit more tinkering to do there. Oh, and now we're detected. Okay. Yeah. Island. Let's slow down a second here. Island. Now that I've recovered that ID mission, we should be able to swap to more airstrikes. MOAR, more airstrikes. Say them again. Okay. So we know we lost a torpedo and a dive, and then we're just going to bring up a whole new airstrike. I forgot what was damaged. We just need to hit a light cruiser and a destroyer. Now, anvil attack here. That's my next best card. 10 fish. Send a lot of torpedo bombers against that carrier. Put a little jinking action in there. Okay, and that gets us a pretty good amount of attack. Now we need to buff up some defense. We buff up a lot of defense. 7, 7, 8. I'm already burning a lot of torpedo bombers. And how about this? That's no good. I mean, the effects are really good, but I don't have 8 squadrons. Oops. What's my best one squadron attack card? One of these two. This one fits if maneuver 3 is supportive, and it is. Oh, yeah, that actually turned out to be better. Oh, well, look at that. It's the same makeup. 3-1-3. Okay, let's go to launch mode first. 3-1-3, and we already have the one dive bomber on deck.
Issue a torpedo bomber squadron on the deck. Issue a torpedo bomber squadron on the deck. Issue a torpedo bomber squadron on the deck. Issue a fighter squadron on the deck. Issue a fighter squadron on the deck. Issue a fighter squadron on the deck. Start engine.
Yes, sir.
Ready, sir. Roger that.
Oh. We are in, need to go to recovery and bring in the
Stand by to recover aircraft.
I'm like 99.9% sure that we had a total destruction assured. No? See if they get the cinematic right this time. Oh, well, good. You sink a destroyer. Except no, the destroyer lived. It was the light carrier that should have been popped there. They're 0 for 2. Okay, well that's irritating. And what do we got? That is a right, we're recovering. And what are we going to have on deck after this recovery? Fighter. They're going down for repair. Two fighters. torpedo bomber. Okay, we have 2 fighters and 2 torpedo bombers on deck, so let's at least use that. Here's our 2 torpedo bombers. And 2 fighters. Let's move anvil attack to here. No, that's no good. Well, it's good enough. Still ensures the destruction. So we could just send that package that we have on deck right now, and that's it. Could do that. However, we're still going to at least get a damage, maybe lose a squadron. If we just add 1 more fighter. Yeah, okay, let's bring a fighter up. Just so we don't lose anybody. Switch to launch mode first. Cue the fighter.
Issue a fighter squadron on the deck. Launch aircraft.
I haven't even looked at my crew. That looks about right. Kind of disappointed that the enemy task force apparently didn't even launch an attack. This is the 3rd strike flying out, so he's had opportunity. It's been detected. Yeah, there was a little dip off of the bow when they... I think they may overdo it a little bit in the animations. A little bit, anyway. Okay, this other strike is ready for recovery. I'm just gonna... Wait. Where are we supposed to be? Ugh. Oh, we have outrun... We outran that recovery area. Which then means well, as soon as they sink that destroyer, the mission's over. we're, we're not going to lose any aircraft. I did kind of mess that up, though. I'm not sure how. There's supposed to be a malfunction.
On my way.
I've seen on the Steam discussions, more than one, I'm not. There's an idea out there where it's so dumb about, that goes something along the lines of, quote, it's so dumb that they have these fixed recovery areas because wouldn't it be easier for the planes just to move to the carrier instead of the carrier move to the airplanes? Because they're a lot faster, that would make a lot more sense. Which, it does make sense as far as it goes, as long as the planes know where the carrier is. And then the follow-up thought to that is, well, they just see them on radar, or, well, why can't they just call them on the radio and ask? Well, because there's radio silence. The absolute worst thing that a carrier, that a task force could do is transmit on radio. Now, for short range, like between those two ships there, something like that, there was a short range, high frequency but low range system. It was called TBS, Talk Between Ships. And there we go. Dare we see, can they get the last cinematic correct? Come on, hit a destroyer. Okay, they were 1 for 3 in the... it almost like, really kind of the same kind of, like a walkie-talkie would be. They would use that, even that kind of sparingly. But for a more high power, like HF, that you would need the range to communicate aircraft, that can be detected and tracked. And if they have multiple listening stations, which they did, which both sides did, this was a common thing, and and it wasn't some super secret bit. Get a triangulated position and get it wasn't like fire control quality accuracy, but it was enough to get a general idea and then vector in recon aircraft. So radio silence was a big thing. You can read all, a person can read all through the discussions of the Coral Sea campaign, and that was a huge thing. And a lot of times, Pearl Harbor, or Nimitz, and then King back in DC, they would get frustrated with Fletcher because they didn't know what Fletcher was doing and why he was doing it, and Fletcher wasn't telling them because Fletcher couldn't tell them. He couldn't transmit. The carrier stayed silent. So they weren't going to find out that way. And then the other thing is, you could find your way to the carrier if you had radar. If you had radar. Guess what? No carrier-borne plane in 1942 had radar. None. Not one. Late in the war, there were a few variants. I think there was like an early AEW type variant of the Avenger. AEW meaning Airborne Early Warning, that had a radar on it. And then there was a Night Fighter Hellcat variant that had a radar on it. But those were specialized planes. There weren't very many of them. And that was much later in the war. And those radar sets had been developed and specialized and refined and were small and light enough to be carried in an airplane. They didn't have that yet in 1942. There was hardly any airborne radar at all in any kind of plane, and what very few there may have been that early would have been a much bigger aircraft. Carrier-borne aircraft didn't have radar. They weren't going to find the carrier that way either. There was a homing system where within a certain range, the carrier did have a homing system where it would transmit a signal, and then aircraft, if they picked that up, could follow that in. A, it wasn't very reliable. B, it wasn't very high powered for the same reasons as because of the radio. Right? If it was too high powered, it could be picked up from too far away. So the range on it wasn't awesome. And they didn't and that was kind of a last-ditch emergency thing. That was there if needed, but they wouldn't plan strikes around that. Bottom line, when they launched aircraft, it was a commitment. The carrier had to be within an area where those airplanes could come back and find the carrier on visual. Because otherwise they weren't going to know where it was. Anyway, I spoke too much about that. Spent too much time. Let's see, what can award medals to? Well, these guys are all completely maxed out. I even already burned an extra medal on this guy already. As far as I know, there is no reason, once they fill up the 6 medals for their bars here at the bottom, I am not aware of, I have never read of any possible reason to keep giving medals to an officer. And then same thing for an enlisted on the 2 badges. So I think I'm just wasting medals here. Oh well. But we should have our 4 upgrade points once we get back to Pearl. Alright, there we go. Actually, I just reached level 4 with the Admiral, too. I wonder. It's not giving me an option for any kind of new goodies. Alright. How many aircraft? Yeah, we lost 4 aircraft. We need 1 dive bomber and 3 torpedo bombers. Okay. Escorts. So those need to go in for repair. But we are going to unlock Atlanta. Yes, please. And now, what do they cost in command points? 12. All right, 24 points, which I've got a lot of command points, so all right. Oh. So, for our next mission, when we go back out, we're going to take our other Saipan. That's still a starter ship. We're going to take our other Fletcher that we have. And we're going to take Atlanta. This is actually starting to look like a proper task force. And then I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unlock this slot here for a 4th escort slot. And I see a lot of talk on the discussions Independence Type 2. Send a prepared mission requiring no more than 3 squadrons without using squadrons from hangar. So I read that to mean I can use this ship to pop out an ID, a recon, a cap, a scout, without having to actually fool with the airplanes. And it brings with it 2 escort defense and 1 carrier defense. Four lives. And basically I can use it once a day. Actually, on 14-hour cooldown, but there is an order for reducing escort cooldown times. If you were using that and you used it in an early mission, like a Dawn ID mission or Dawn Scout mission, you would have it again before the end of that fly day. That's a very strong possibility. Then I think I was also considering a remote pickup. Send this carrier away to pick up returning squadrons. Okay, so basically this thing will just recover something for you. That could have come in handy, like right there at the end when I found myself with a recovery area in 2 different directions. Nice escort defense, but I just no carrier defense at all. I don't know about that. And this thing carries +2 carrier defense. Brooklyn, 3 points. No escort defense at all. And you first start reading this ability and it sounds great. +2 defense for all your maneuvers during your next airstrike against an enemy base. Just base, not fleet. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking that independence. It seems, I think that's what I'm going to go for next. And I need a total of 6 upgrade points for that. 2 for the slot. Well, let me think about that. Because I can replace Saipan with the independence and really not lose anything. I'm getting +1/+1 with Saipan. With independence, I'm getting +1/+2, so upgrade there. And I'm losing a free cap and gaining a free whatever the hell I need. So that's a natural upgrade. Alright. Well, in any case, hope you enjoyed the video. And we'll go back out and try to get ourselves an independence next time around. And, if you like the content, leave a like, leave a comment, maybe even a subscribe. In any case, thank you very, very much for watching. I appreciate it.